This world just isn't as it should be. There's too much wrong with it. Too many disasters, too much pain, too much sorrow, too much brokenness. Both personal pain, the kind we bring on ourselves, and pain that we don't have anything to do with. Too much death, too much sorrow, too many wars, too much conflict. And then there's personal pain, hatred, anger, jealousy, selfishness, not to mention self-hate, self-loathing, self-condemnation. The world just isn't as it should be. If I were God, I wouldn't have made it that way. I wouldn't have allowed quite so many conflicts, quite so many struggles. I wouldn't allow natural disasters to come without a big warning sign on them so that nobody would suffer. I wouldn't allow children to die. I wouldn't allow innocents to suffer. There would be no wars, there would be no death, there'd be no conflict of any kind. That's what I would have done if I were God. And I wouldn't allow any pollution, I wouldn't allow any evil, I wouldn't allow any dictators, I wouldn't allow any brokenness, I wouldn't allow broken marriages, I wouldn't allow broken bones, I wouldn't allow broken relationships, I wouldn't allow anything that hurts. That's what I would have done. My purpose, if I were God, would have been to just make sure everybody was comfortable and happy with their life. Because as I see it, that's the point, for me to be comfortable and happy with my life. And I'm not selfish about that. I wouldn't want that just for me. I would want everybody to be comfortable and happy. As I see it, that should be the purpose. That should be the goal that everybody pursues, so that everybody could just enjoy their life and be comfortable and happy. And there wouldn't have to be any meaning or passion. Definitely not passion. That's the source of so many problems. So we could all just sit back at the end of our lives and in a deep leather rocking chair, and we could all just be glad that everything was so comfortable and happy. As I see it, that's the way things should have been. But maybe I don't see everything clearly. Maybe there are things that I don't understand. Maybe in my effort to make everybody comfortable and happy, I would lose something in the process. I would lose something useful, although I can't imagine what that would be. But maybe I'm not as smart as God. And maybe my solution to pain and suffering wouldn't work either. I mean, I would just eliminate pain and suffering, but perhaps in doing that, I would lose something of value. There might be some unintended consequence. But maybe my time frame is off. Maybe my perspective is off. Maybe my 80 or 100 years of life in this world is not quite as important as I think it is. I mean, the universe is 14 billion, 500 million years old. So it's possible that there's something of deeper significance than my life here in California, my happiness, my comfort. On the other hand, God's solution doesn't make that much sense either. I mean, to say that this guy had to die because of all the pain and evil in the world, what sense does that make? What's that going to fix? That's like saying that just because a piece of art is damaged, that somebody's going to have to pay for it. What sense does that make? I mean, why can't the artist just agree that it's an accident and let it go? Why does the artist have to be so demanding? Why does the artist have to be so particular? Why does the artist care so much about his piece of art? Or even if it's not an accident. Let's say somebody didn't like the art. Let's say somebody was offended by the art, and let's say they damaged it intentionally. What good is it going to do to pay cash money to the artist? It's not going to bring the art back, and the artist's feelings are still going to be injured. It's not going to restore the fact that violence has been done, and the artist is still going to feel abused, and the artist is still going to feel violated, and the artist is not necessarily going to be mollified by receiving cash. And I'm pretty sure God agrees with me, I think. I mean, we all have feelings, right? And my feelings are just as important as something made of clay and steel and stone. So, as I see it, the solution shouldn't be that somebody should have to pay for all the evil done. Somebody shouldn't have to pay for the fact that the art has been broken. Somebody shouldn't have to pay anything just so that the artist's integrity can be restored. Besides, who could ever pay that much? Only God himself could pay such an infinite price. Only God could afford to repay all the damage done to his masterpiece. And besides, that would only happen if there was some deeper purpose to this world. Otherwise, why would anybody go through the pain of having to die on the cross to pay off somebody's debt? That would only make sense if there was some deeper purpose than comfort and happiness. That would only make sense if we had an eternity to prepare for. That would only make sense if there was something more important that God had in mind. Something. Maybe my character. Maybe my soul. Maybe the love of God is more important.